Sorry about that little time overage. I'll make sure you get enough.
Well, thank you very much. I'll tell you today about my company, Millrock, and it is recognized now as, I would say, the premier project generator in Alaska. So generators, can make discoveries that make truly remarkable returns for investors. And here's a few of the more successful generators, and we aim to recreate that kind of success. I think you know what you're looking for here, and we truly are early stage exploration specialists. It's the highest risk part of the whole mining industry, but it can produce also the biggest rewards. But it is the riskiest part, and so to reduce that risk, we take an approach where we operate multiple exploration projects at any one time. And the only way we can do that is by funding the exploration through partnerships with other companies, be they other juniors or major mining companies. This is how it works. We stake or acquire at low cost mineral rights, but we immediately or as soon as possible make an agreement with another company. They fund the exploration. If there's success, we'll form a joint venture, and if there's real success and a mine is discovered, we'll participate as minority shareholder developers, or more likely, we would sell out our interest for a royalty and cash. And our company's been in business now for 15 years. And so you can see that almost all of our money has come from other mining companies. And we only have to raise financing very occasionally. These are the partners that we've had over the years. Some of them are current partners right now. We've often done deals with major mining companies. That's always like a nice stamp of approval for us. People think, oh, it must be a great project since a major's taking it on. And that's true to some degree, but we like doing deals with junior companies as well. And very often we'll take equity in the junior company as partial payment for our project. And so over the years now, we've built up a fine portfolio of junior company shares that we've occasionally monetized and sold some, which helps our bottom line. It's a pretty good team that we've got. We're very prolific. My partner, Phil St. George, and I started the company in 2007. Phil's biggest claim to fame is he discovered the Pebble deposit in Alaska, over 100 million ounces of gold and billions of tons of copper. He added millions of ounces to the Donlin Creek project when he was VPX for Nova Gold. And so between the two of us, we keep coming up with ideas that are attractive to other companies. Here's the basics on the company. We have just around 1.3 million Canadian in the bank account right now. Our share price is at a 52-week low, and so an opportune time to buy in. It sort of feels to me like 2009, where we were trading at 5 or 7 cents a share, and within a year and a half, we'd increased our share price to well over $1. So people made good money from Millrock back in those years, and I feel we're poised now to do that all over again. We've built a great portfolio of projects, and we have partners actively working on them. Solid shareholder base, and not too many shares outstanding. And over time, we've built up royalties. They're exploration stage royalties. Some of them are paying already through advanced minimum royalty payments. So that helps with the cash flow. Millrock operates the exploration for all its projects. And so we receive revenues as a management fee. we receive revenue as option payments, and now we receive some advanced minimum royalty payments. And so all this income serves to reduce our overhead costs, or even this year, I suspect we'll come close to breaking even. And so that's pretty unusual for a junior exploration company. And the whole idea is to be a long-term, sustainable exploration company that keeps doing good science, good work until we make that giant discovery that will catapult our share price again. Alaska is a great place. It's home base for me, Anchorage, and it scores very, very highly on all the things that you'd want to see. It really is a tier one jurisdiction. Most particularly of late, the Australians have recognized that it's a great place to explore, and almost, in fact, I would say 70 to 80% of the exploration and development funding coming to Alaska is coming from Australian companies. And we've been helping along the way. We've invited Australian companies to come. We've forged relationships in Australia. And so much of the exploration work on Millrock projects is Australian sourced. So we're active at these 6 projects right now across Alaska, the gold-colored dots. Black ones are places we've explored previously. So all 6 of these projects presently are partnered with funding companies. Apex recently was the subject of an option agreement with Coeur d'Alene Mines, so a major company buying into a Millrock gold project, and that's always a great sign. We've got the Australian juniors at 64 North and at Esther Dome and Treasure Creek at Fairbanks, Alaska. We'll be drilling there starting in October. And, at this point, I would say for the foreseeable future for Millrock, we're going to be drilling on one project or another almost continuously throughout the year. So there's always that opportunity that we're going to make that big discovery that will catapult our share price. Just zoom in and talk about the Tintina Gold Belt or province of Alaska, Yukon, Alaska, really. Yukon's more heavily explored, and there's been some good discoveries there, but there's some real bonanzas in Tintina, in the western Tintina. Donlin Creek, for example, over 40 million ounces. So Alaska is the kind of place that can produce real giants, and we're very happy to be in both the Goodpaster and Fairbanks districts, where there's a lot of gold already being produced. So Fairbanks, it was the original discovery of gold in Alaska back in 1902. And a huge flurry of exploration, and placer mining. And so millions of ounces of gold have been mined from superficial sediments draining off the hills surrounding Fairbanks. And one of the flagship mines for Kinross Gold, the Fort Knox mine, is situated within the Fairbanks district. It's produced over 8 million ounces of gold too. So this really is elephant country. And more recently, there's been a great discovery by a company called Freegold at the Golden Summit project. And it really hasn't hit the street very hard. And I'm a bit surprised because some of the drill intersections they've made are fantastic. Hundreds of meters of +2 or +3 gram material. And within sight, literally within sight of an operating gold mill owned by Kinross. So we're very happy to have built up this great land position all the way across the Fairbanks district. Don't think anybody else previously has built this sort of a land position and taken a holistic exploration approach to the whole district. It's always been a real patchwork of claims here, but we've consolidated most of it. And there's really only the 3 players, Kinross, Freegold, and Millrock. And we've partnered with an Australian company that's about to IPO. Millrock will be a major shareholder of that company, and the projects will start generating cash flow from advanced minimum royalties within a very short period of time. And if there is a big discovery, we'll have a production royalty that will pay off very, very well for our shareholders. And it really hasn't been explored very much when you consider all the gold that's drained off these hills that you can see in yellow that's being recovered by placer methods. And, there's only one underground, or at least hard rock lode gold mine so far. We think there's much, much more to find here. Treasure Creek is the one we're going to drill first. We've got some great signs at surface, and we think the geology is nearly identical to the Golden Summit project of Free Gold, which is really just a few kilometers away. So we hope to get some similar intersections like this one over 100 meters of nearly 4 grams per ton. And that certainly would have a very positive effect on Millrock's share price. Yeah, not much prior drilling, but what's been done has shown that there's some good grade over significant widths and some great surface anomalies that have never been drill tested. We'll look to drill these sometime in the near future as well. Esther Dome, it's a sort of a prominent hill in the Fairbanks area, and more than 3 million ounces of gold has been reported to have been recovered from the creeks that surround this hill. And a nice little picture of some of it that came from a placer mining operation there. But we know that the source has to be on and beneath the hill or the dome, Esther Dome, and we intend to find that lode source. It appears to be mostly high-grade gold veins at Esther Dome, and that's where we think it'll be more likely that it'll be underground mining scenario, high-grade underground gold deposits. We know of one. We've got an option on it. It's called the Grant Mine, former high-grade producer, and we look to expand the resource. We know it's around 400,000 ounces already, and we look to expand the size of that deposit in the coming years. Some great prospects all over that we think, but clearly this Grant Mine is wide open at depth, and it's got the grade we're looking for that could support a modest-sized underground operation. So we'll look to increase value by delineating a bigger resource. And ultimately, our partner, the Australian company, will either put it into production or sell it at a profit. 64 North, all around the Pogo gold mine, another great mine now being operated by an Australian company. And we've optioned our claims out to a junior Australian company that's raised and spent in excess of $7 million US. The results haven't been what we'd hoped so far, but by no means are we giving up on the project, and we'll be drilling more yet. And again, I mentioned the most recent partnership is with Coeur d'Alene Mines on the Apex project, southwest of Juneau on the Chichagof Island. Great location right on Tidewater. It's an old mine dating back to the 1920s. Where a few tens of thousands of very, very high-grade gold was mined from quartz veins, mesothermal gold deposit, but it's never been drilled since. And we picked up the property maybe 5 years ago at a very, very low cost from the underlying owner. And then, as I mentioned recently, we made an agreement with Coeur d'Alene Mines. We just finished the first round of surface exploration, and we'll look to drilling beneath the existing workings next summer. So there's lots of things that can make our share price go up. We're trenching right now at 64 North, where our partner, Resolution Minerals, is. We'll be drilling at the Treasure Creek project in Fairbanks very soon. We'll announce the calculation of the resource at the Grant Mine, which should be pretty solid. We're generating new projects all the time, particularly focusing on nickel and platinum. though gold is still our bread and butter. And finally, I haven't really mentioned it, but we're active in Sonora State, Mexico also, and we're in the final phases of negotiating deals on 2 of our projects there that will create new royalties for us. So every one of these royalties that we create is accretive to the value of Millrock. And so we're sort of becoming a royalty generator, but also an exploration project generator, using our geologic knowledge and capital to create wealth. So with a very low share price, I think we're poised to increase that with all these catalysts coming. And I'd encourage prospective shareholders to buy in now. Thank you.
Questions for Greg? Go ahead.
Yeah, there's 2 projects on which we're getting advanced minimum royalty payments. And these are only a few tens of thousands each per year, but we're creating more of these all the time. And some of them, the one that'll kick in next starts at $50,000, but then it doubles every year until production occurs. And so these could really start to add up. And really, if we get enough of them in the next couple of years, that alone is enough to cover all our overhead and generative exploration cost. And so if I'm able to do that, we won't have to go back to the market again to the majors really don't like to sign up for advanced minimum royalties, but the juniors don't seem to mind it. And so that's the tact we've taken. But yeah, the majors are quite resistant to advanced royalties.
Please.
What's it like?
Yeah, personnel shortages is becoming an issue. I think Millrock's a desirable company to work for, so we haven't had too much problem hiring people so far. And we're always a little resistant to expand our staff too quickly because this is a cyclical business. And so we keep our core staff that's very, very competent year-round, and then we hire people seasonally as we need them. But certainly I see those days coming, like 2009 and 10, where it was really difficult to get a drill, number one, and number two, the people that could interpret properly the rocks that were being recovered from the drill holes. Yeah, I think we've got some great times coming ahead, Tom, and now is the payday for Millrock shareholders, where we're contrarians. We bought up all these projects in the dark days of 2016 and 17, and now we've got them all optioned out. We're still able, because there's a lack of competition in Alaska, to generate more projects. So we're able to do that, but now is the time, I think. And again, we've a lot of catalysts that can make our share price move up from 7 cents.
Just since we got a couple of minutes left, Greg, I know it's very difficult looking at the upcoming work being done on some of the projects and trying to pick a favorite one or the one you're the most excited about. It's like asking a parent about their favorite child. But is there one of these upcoming projects that you're just can't wait for them to get at it?
Right. Our favorite project is always the one we're going to drill next. And so right now, my favorite is Treasure Creek, because we'll be drilling that in October. But yeah, we've always resisted having a flagship project, because then our share price is tied directly to success or failure on one single project. And let's face it, this is early stage exploration. The odds are we're not going to discover an ore body, but we might discover something that's going to take our share price a lot higher than 7 cents. If we're very, very fortunate, we'll discover a mine. But yeah, it's always the discovery drill hole that's going to drive our share price. So our favorite is the one we're going to drill next. Thanks for the question.
Answer. Any other questions from the audience? If not, that's the end of the session. Thank you very much, Greg. We appreciate
Thank you.
hearing your story.